This is Lee from the Law School Toolbox and the Bar Exam Toolbox. Wonder why people fail the bar exam? One of our bar tutors, Adam, is here to share his thoughts. Hi, Adam. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Lee. My pleasure.
So today I wanted to check in and talk a little bit about students failing the bar. So why do you think most people fail the bar?
So, there's obviously a lot of reasons, but I think for most students, what it comes down to is a lack of practice. That's typically the thing that I see most often. Most students are coming in straight from law school. They have a lot of experience taking law school exams. And, I think there's this perception, and I know how to do this. This is just another version of what I've already done. Yes, there's more material to learn, but once I memorize that, I can just sort of go in and take it and I'll be fine. And the reality is that it's kind of a different beast. You need, a lot of the same skills that you learned in law school, but the timing is different. There's a huge multiple choice component. There's the performance tests, which are a completely different animal. And in order to really succeed in that, you really need to have done a lot of those questions in advance, many times over many weeks. And students that don't do that tend to not do as well.
I 100% agree. So what do you think is the most important thing someone should consider when retaking the bar exam?
So, this relates to what we're just talking about. And I think that's thinking about what's going to go differently the second time around and why. If the issue first time around was a general lack of preparedness, or, lack of practice, or not giving yourself enough time, or picking the wrong program, whatever it is, you want to ask yourself, what am I going to change in order to make sure that the second time goes better? So, that can be picking a program that's more suited to their needs, giving themselves a longer runway before the exam. That's oftentimes hard if people are working, but obviously that's helpful. Focusing on different skills in preparation for the exam. Maybe it's timing that was a problem. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's writing. Whatever it is, just making sure that those changes are being made. Because if you just go into it and do the same thing you did the first time, you're probably going to get a pretty similar result.
Yeah, unfortunately, right? Very seldom do we hear about folks doing the exact same thing and getting a different result. Sometimes it happens,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but it usually doesn't work that way.
And the same thing with, many parts of life. You gotta change it up a little bit and see what works for you. And it's not, there's no shame in it. You try something the first time, it doesn't work. You got to try something else.
Yeah, exactly. What is the one thing, maybe other than practice, that you find yourself saying over and over to your students?
So typically trust the process is a big one. The important thing, in addition to practice, obviously, is making sure that you kind of leave it on the field, recognize the exam for what it is. And really, it's a marathon and not a sprint. So, whatever program you pick, it's going to have different components. It's going to focus on different things. Whatever it is, you really want to trust that system that you've selected and kind of give it your all for the entire time. And there's really, there's a few different reasons for that. It's hard to assess something in a very short period of time, right? You almost never see results from something in a few days, even in, a couple of weeks. Oftentimes you really need to do constant repetition and just do something over and over again to see what's working. So, that's definitely an important thing to do. And also to go back to what we were saying about figuring out what didn't work and making a change. If you keep changing what you're doing every day, every 2 days, 3 days, whatever, it's very hard to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
Was it this thing that I did? Was it that thing that I did? If you really just commit and give it your all and, hopefully it goes well, obviously, but then if it doesn't, what went wrong. And it's like, okay, this is what I need to change next time.
Yeah. I don't know why we think that we can change things so fast. Like, for instance, every time you start, at least me, you start a new workout regimen and you're like, why aren't I so much stronger after a week? I've been working out this week.
Well, because it feels bad. And sometimes you make a change and, I mean, I think of like watching lectures that a lot of programs have as being one of those things where it's like, this feels good, right?
Hmm.
Somebody's talking to you about something and you're like, oh, I understand that. And because you understand that, you think you're making progress when really, do you know how to use it in practice? Do you know how to apply it? Like, are you actually getting stronger? Or are you just, you know, doing something that feels good in the moment?
Yeah. Yeah. An ongoing challenge takes a growth mindset to do that.
Yeah,
And I think we
definitely.
always have to recommit to the mindset almost every day in almost all
Yes,
parts of our life. So
absolutely.
awesome. Well, thanks, Adam, for taking time to chat with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to give us a like and leave a comment. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future content. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via our website contact form at barexamtoolbox.com. Thanks for watching.